And we're going to make sure your 3D cursor's in the center, and we're going to do Shift A, and we're going to do another cylinder. This one we want to be maybe like, let's do like 10 on the radius, see what that does. Maybe a little too big, maybe like 7. Yeah, that's good. So now we've got a little washer. The height, we only need like 3 maybe. That might be too thick. Yeah, that's way too thick. Let's do like maybe 2. Yeah. So now we've got a little washer. Let's grab that, bring it up. We're just going to set that right on top. You don't have to touch, but just kind of in the ballpark. And notice here we've got tolerances. We've got little spaces. So we've got spaces here. We've got our washer right here. So we've got, just leave some space in between all of those things. Because we want everything to be able to spin and rotate freely. That's the goal for this project. And that looks pretty cool. Maybe we'll add some bevel onto that too, just like the base. We'll just do angle. Maybe do 3. Let's just do 6, just like the other one. There we go. We can just kind of round it out. That looks cool. All right, so now we got a nice little washer there. Let's go ahead and hide our arrow, and let's make this a full washer. So we'll click on our filament here, shift click on our spacer, and hit Control minus, and that will take a hole out there. Notice we've got really sharp edge there, so if you want to change that, just rearrange your modifiers. And then from here we can bring back everything, and from here all we need is like a base and a little kind of like pinchy top, something on the top, to like a clip almost, to snap everything together. So let's go into this mode. Oh, you can see all the colors here. And let's create a new, let's do a cylinder again. This is all about cylinders. So now we've got a cylinder, 128, radius of 7. That's good. And the depth is, let's do like 10. There we go. And we'll just grab and scale that up. Look on the side. And we're just going to put this right above the arrow. It doesn't have to touch. And then go into edit mode. We're going to take our faces, grab the top one, and just scale it on in. Maybe look from the top, go to wireframe mode. And we want it about as, the top one as big as our filament. So somewhere in that area. There we go. And we'll go back to solid. So now this is kind of like a cap, or a something that we will use to fit our, kind of like pinch the filament that's sticking up right here. So to do that, we are going to go into wireframe mode. I'm going to show you what I mean here. So notice we've got the filament going up way into this cap here. We can even go a little higher, I think. So let's go into our base, look for our filament. Go into our filament, and let's just grab that top one here. And we're going to grab that and go up on the Z, almost to the top. Somewhere in there. And then let's go back to object mode. What we want to do is, we've already got our filament selected, so now we're going to hold shift, select our cone, and do Control minus. And now we've got a cool hole inside of our, let me see if I can hide these for you. So now we've got this really cool hole in here that's going to pinch our filament. Let's go ahead and just bring back everything. And let's take all of these letters here and the curve. Let's just shift click that let's just grab those and bring those into the base. There we go. And the cylinder here we can rename. That could be our top clip. And the cylinder here looks like that is our spacer, or it's a washer. We'll just call it a spacer because that's what it's doing. It's giving us some space. And that's just to lift, this spacer here is just to lift this spinny rod off the ground a little bit, off the base, just so it can spin freely around the filament. And so now the last step is just adding another base down here so we can have something to clip on this little piece of filament here. And you could just, copy and paste this one, that could be fine. But I kind of want something where it's like a little stand, something like a little, I don't know, we'll just make something. So I'm going to hit Shift A. Let's make another cylinder. And we can rock with this one. So let's just keep that, slide it down ever so slightly. And let's go into edit mode, grab the base of that, and let's just scale it up. So just scale it almost maybe halfway as big as the little piece here. So now we've got a nice base. And one other thing, maybe let's extrude it just a little bit, give us some kind of like a cool base. Yeah, I like that. And since we've curved everything else, we might as well curve these too. So let's just add a bevel. Let's add a bevel onto this one. Again, we don't need clamps. We can do angles and, do hardened normals if we want. And now we can just kind of play with this. Let's do like maybe 6. You could do 3 or 6. It's a little overkill with 6, but yeah, maybe too much for that one. Maybe like 3. Yeah, we'll just kind of curve it out. Yeah, maybe we do need more. Let's do 6. Yeah. That looks cool. I like that. Very curvy, very cute. And now we're going to do the same thing down here. But notice we've got that weird artifacting going on here. And that's because we don't have our angle. You can take these clamps off. And let's go to 6. And then we're just going to, roll it around until it looks nice and curvy like the top here. And I like doing this just because, you could go into edit mode and put a bevel on some of these edges manually with the, like the bevel tool right here. But it kind of locks in your geometry, and if we ever wanted to go back and change it, if we ever wanted to go back, turn it off, we can just flick a switch. And I like that. I think that's a smarter way to design, so you're not locking yourself into any changes here. And the only other thing we have to do, let's go ahead and save, is put the filament, cut the filament out of this centerpiece so it can kind of clip into this base. So let's go ahead and grab our 1.57 millimeter filament, hold Shift, click on the base, and do Control-. And we'll go ahead and put the bool, up above it. Let's hide that. I just want to take a look real quick at our bevel. Yeah, that looks good. All right. So now we've got a pretty cool looking rig here, guys and girls. I don't know if y'all are seeing this, but we've got like a Truth or Dare spinny board that is easily 3D printed. It's probably print in like an hour or two. And let's make sure everything looks even. That looks great.